Let's move on and talk about Jennifer Lopez. And, there's more fallout from, since she did this damn documentary that was on Prime Video. There's a lot of people that's been coming out continuously talking about J-Lo. So, for years, there have always been reports that Jennifer Lopez, aka the Ursula of the music industry, did not sing some of her recorded songs, and a former backup vocalist has broken her silence to speak out on one of the singer's most famous tracks. Now, since late March, singer Natasha Ramos has revealed her unpleasant experience, also supporting the long-standing allegations that the This Is Me Now singer doesn't use her own vocals on songs. In one TikTok, Ramos introduced herself as the voice of Lopez's 2002 single, Jenny from the Block, but claimed that in their multiple times of working together, Lopez was bubbly and cool. Well, she had to be if she wanted to use the damn vocals. The two were introduced in the early 2000s at the Hit Factory where Ramos was recording, and then the two were friendly before things went sour. Along with Jenny, Ramos says she also sang on I'm Glad, The One, Loving You, and Baby I Love You. There's a bunch of TikTok clips and stuff that I did add about her telling her story that I did post that on my social media. Like I posted on my website, chrisavalon.com. I was thinking about playing it here, but those videos are so damn long that I was like, I don't want to make this a 20-minute video. So I'm just going to let you know what she said. So she says, I feel like all the other ones, excluding Jenny from the Block, are very much true blue black background vocals. I think the problem with Jenny from the Block is that they kept my laugh and they kept the ad libs and they turned her vocals like all the way down, and the from the blues part is me. I'm like, damn, because they knew her ass couldn't sing to save a damn life. So they basically just like turn her vocals down and then kind of, I guess they added it in it. But I just feel like you can't say, you can't say that. Like J-Lo is an actress. You know, she prides herself on being an actress. So what I don't get is why couldn't you can't do an ad lib? I mean, it's not like you're singing from the Bronx. You're just shouting it into the damn mic. They could have added that in there. So I don't understand. But people have to realize, like, you know what? A lot of times with artists, they get songs sent to them from, people who sit and they write songs and, I won't say writing camps because I don't think writing camps were something that existed in those days. Back in those days, you had at least good one or two writers that would write songs. Now you need like a plethora of like 20 damn people in a room writing a couple of words to make a good song. That's why Beyonce be having to pay so many damn people with between how many people work on one damn song, and it makes it difficult for iTunes and all this other stuff to keep track of this stuff because she always got to add people to things. So when it comes to the whole Jennifer Lopez situation, I'm just like, you could have kept, like, what was you doing that you couldn't be in the studio to take a couple of hours to record these songs, these reference tracks that you were sent? And to me, what Natasha is saying is that she was sent these, she would sing these reference songs, and then Jennifer Lopez, because a lot of times you hear the song and it's like, okay, they want you to sing it in this way or whatever, where you have to constantly be coached by a producer or whatever the case is, and then you record these songs and then they put it out there. But I don't understand how y'all use majority of her stuff. Now I get it if you want to use certain things to help thicken the vocals, because a lot of times they do that when they stack in the vocals or whatever. You want to give it a little more, add a little more fat to the situation. But when you're using people's whole vocals and you basically just try to make it oh yeah, I wrote this song, girl, you ain't write a damn thing, because then when we listen to the song, I'm like, this is basically the demo, the reference song that we've heard sounds similar to everything. So what part did you write? Did you put an and a the in there to get a writer credit? So anyway, so she said, and then she did a follow-up TikTok where she claims she wasn't in the room when negotiations took place for the This Is Me Then album, but she alleged that the singer's producer, Corey Rooney, wanted a kiss from Ramos. She said, I say no. He's like, if you don't give me a kiss, I'm going to take you off all these records. Ramos shared that she gave Rooney a tap kiss, but the producer wanted tongue, to which she demanded to leave the studio. And all these years later, I can't help but feel like that was a big piece in why I was screwed over so badly. And what people need to realize that when you get in this industry, it's a lot of that pay for play, quid pro quo type stuff, where a lot of these girls are getting in studio, and dudes be getting sexually harassed, or they having to slob a knob, bring their knee pads to a meeting or a session just so that way they can get a song and all this other stuff. And thank God, girls like Maya, who came out and said that she was not doing all of that, because I remember there was rumors about her going around screwing for tracks, and she shut that ish down not too long ago. She was just like, First of all, I was not up in here throwing my ass in a circle for no damn song. And I think that's why it hurt her a lot in this industry, because she wasn't willing to play that game. Now, it kind of made me wonder, J-Lo, what was you doing in them studios to get them songs? Because I know you wasn't doing an off-share talent. Now, if you somebody who was a moderately talented, not even moderately, like you an okay singer, and you basically, what the rumors are, she's an industry plant that was sent to sabotage Mariah Carey, and you ain't never heard, regardless of all the diva-doms that we heard about Mariah, you ain't never heard her have no situations with no fellow songwriters, producers, whatever the case is. Well, first, Mariah is very hands-on and controlling when it comes to her music. Anyway, and she writes a lot of her songs. Yeah, she'll probably get a little help here and there, but Mariah is very hands-on when it comes to her stuff. But you ain't never heard her being no diva in this way. She might be a diva in other ways, like in regards to her setups and her stage presence or other stuff. Sidebar, shout out to Mariah, who added more dates to her residency. I just heard that story, I believe yesterday. But to me, it's just like, it kind of makes me wonder. I'm like, well, damn, J-Lo, was you doing some stuff that you shouldn't have been? Like, was you out here hunting for beats? Because I really don't think she was with Diddy for love, especially when I get to this next clip that I'm going to talk about. She also said that she was contacted about a documentary being made about Jenny from the Block, in which Rooney was involved with the awkward Zoom meeting, saying, assuming that the project fell through the cracks, Ramos acknowledged Lopez's recent, Prime Video documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told, which chronicles her latest album and the musical experience, saying never got that opportunity. And if I'm being 100% honest with you, I definitely was trying to figure out how and when I would expose Corey. In another post, Ramos clarified that she sang the Jenny from the Block hook, but that she was unsure how much of Lopez's voice was used in the single. In the album's credit and Lopez's thank you notes, Ramos admitted that she was acknowledged, but financially she wished that she could have been taken care of a little more, saying, I was definitely taken advantage of, but what are you going to do now? And I think a lot of times it has to do with, a lot of times, a lot of girls, when they get in this, a lot of people, when they get in this, and I won't say just girls, they're not knowing about these contracts and a lot of how shady a lot of these producers and stuff are. So you got to make sure you got to get your own legal attorney, entertainment lawyer, not attached to the studio, someone on the outside that can negotiate your stuff and know what to read and what to tell you. Do not sign this because it's a shitty contract and they trying to take advantage of you. But I do agree. If I say in the reference tracks, if I contribute a lot to the song, I should have been taken care of. Now, I don't know if Natasha has NDAs that she had signed and is a part of, but apparently I'm assuming if she over here, spilling all this tea on TikTok, there is no NDA. But if it is, girl, you might be facing a lawsuit, because I've been hearing some people on social media. There was this one kid, damn, I wish I'm gonna probably link it in the description later on. There was this kid that said that he did a little gay kid, like Gen Zer, that said that he did a whole story on J-Lo and got hit with a cease and desist. There's so many other people out here that is doing stuff on Jennifer Lopez, but why all of a sudden you picking on that little boy? That girl's a joke. But anyway, but the one that I thought that was like the real juicy story was this backup dancer by the name of Dexter Carr, who spilled some tea about his interaction with that insecure entertainer over what transpired behind the scenes when he performed with her during the infamous 2019 Grammys Motown tribute. Which I didn't understand. First of all, and I remember the day that I heard they were like, Jennifer Lopez is gonna be doing a Motown tribute. I'm like, Jennifer Lopez? For why? Okay, number one, I know people was like, okay, she's Puerto Rican, number one. So that was the first, right? They're like, she's not black, even though white ends kept Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, a lot of y'all seem to forget when that slave ship left Africa. You really think that it just made a beeline straight to the United States? It did make some stops. So let's not try to deny the blackness. Y'all should only be admitting that y'all, you black when you got some black dick up in you. That should be the only time. But anyway, I had to throw that in there. Because a lot of times, a lot of people like to deny the Afro part of their Latina and Latino. So one of the things that I found relatively interesting, like when I was walking about this, is like, why is she being attached to the Motown tribute? And I just thought the Grammys, y'all just missed the whole mark in regards to that whole situation. First of all, the Grammys should not have been just, put to one person handling the whole situation. It should have been a moment where you bring in a multitude of people and we're celebrating the history of Motown. So it's kind of like similar to when you watch the BET Awards, when they do these tributes and they bring out a plethora of singers that pay tribute to a certain thing, be it Patti LaBelle or, Berry Gordy or whatever. That should have been the way it was. You throwing in Jennifer Lopez, and then how the hell y'all throw in a salsa break? That was the cackle for me. Because I'm like, wait a minute. What the fuck does salsa got to do with this shit? In Motown. Because Diana Ross and them, the Supremes and Smokey Robinson wasn't up in there doing no damn salsa to their hits. Neither was the Jackson 5. So I don't understand where the salsa came from. But she always got to bring up she from the Bronx and she Puerto Rican. Like we can't look at her ass and see. Like we all got fucking cataracts and shit in our eyeballs. But anyway, let me get to this clip from Dexter so y'all can hear this cackle, because I cackled when I saw this story. And I was like, oh, the shade. But I was living for every moment. Please hold.
I have a J-Lo story. The year is 2019, and I'm dancing with Jennifer Lopez in the 2019 Grammys. And she was asked to do the Motown tribute, and she said yes. As we all know, Motown is a record label, is Black-owned, a home to the most iconic artists in history, Diana Ross's Supremes, The Temptations.
Wait, what happened? It stopped. Hold on, let me refresh.
I have a J-Lo story. The year is 2019, and I'm dancing with Jennifer Lopez in the 2000 is a record label, is Black-owned, a home to the most iconic artists in history, Diana Ross's Supremes, The Temptations. Like, come on now, we know what's going on. I had worked with her previously before. I did a music video of her, a couple performances, I think Billboard Awards, some other stuff too, which, it
was cool, whatever.
I was just very shocked that she was going to do a Motown tribute at the Grammys, which is a award show for music. I walk into rehearsal on the first day. Here was the first red flag for me. I walk into rehearsal the first day to the Motown tribute rehearsal. There was only 3 Black people, including myself. Everybody else in the room was white or other, or, Hispanic, but there was 3 Black people in the room, and that was the dancers. Okay, we move on, we press on. I'm noticing that even when we're doing formations, like we're being placed on stage, I'm talking about us as far as the Black dancers, we're being pushed away from the center, which is where she is. I remember this, I really remember this moment. It was me and the other Black dancer that were opposites. We were right. It was her in the middle, and then it was us 2. She said, they have to move. They have to move. Okay, we move past that. Right, we move past that. We probably now into the 3rd or 4th day of rehearsal, right? And that article came out saying, why is J-Lo doing the Motown tribute? I don't know if y'all remember that, but an article came out saying, I think it was Variety, but something big, a publication came out asking why she's doing it. The team sat us down and they were like, I know you guys are seeing some negative press and blah, blah, blah. Child, she gonna walk in and talk about,
y'all know what? We're gonna show them why I'm doing it.
I remember she raised her. I was dying. I didn't know what was going on. I was so confused. I was so confused. Press on. That day of rehearsal was actually easier. So I was just chilling. At this point, y'all, I'm here. I'm doing my job. That's what I'm doing. Break for lunch, right? My hair at that time looked like this. So I'm there with the choreographer at lunch. We're all talking. I think Jennifer's there. She's talking to us too, actually kind of being funny or whatever. And literally looks at me dead in my face. She goes, so what are we going to do with your hair? Oh, yeah, girl, I get it. Listen, I get it. Is my hair Motown? No. Ain't nothing about this performance Motown. Ain't no Mo, ain't no town in here. Hi, I just want to take a brief intermission from the story to remind everybody that there was a salsa breakdown. But you worried about my braids. Also, I want to be very honest. Let's be clear. It was 2019. I was really in my professional dancer bag. I was trying to dance behind artists and do the things. So I'm happy that happened when it did, because if it was 2024... I went to my friend who's a hairstylist. Shout out to Tiger Bomb. He's the best hairstylist in the world. I love him so much. He basically gave me a custom Motown look because I was so scared. I was like, oh my, I'm gonna get fired. I don't know what to do. So Tiger ends up giving me this look, which I ended up loving. So shout out to Tiger. What really gagged me is I'm over here thinking everybody's gonna be doing a Motown, a vibe, but again, I remember what I said. There's only 3 black people, so I'm trying to think, what's everybody else gonna do? Child, look at what they was doing. And what really sucks is, like, the black dancers that were on the job were like phenomenal. Like, I'm not gonna put nobody's name out there, but like the female dancer that was in the female section with all white and other females, like, she was whooping ass, like eating those steps. Pushed out, pushed to the side, push, push, push. Honestly, it was a line. She was all the way at the end. And I remember sitting on the side and being like, but not only, like, forget the fact that she's black, she's eating. And let's not forget the fact that she's black. It's a Motown tribute. So yeah, child, that's the last time Yenny from the block got any of my time, my energy, and, you know, ham and cheese on a roll with a bag of chips and an orange drink. If you know, you know.
Okay. And if you know, you know. Because, child, I had to read her to write that when I was talking about that, too. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Now, anybody from New York, you talking about ham and cheese on a roll with an orange drink. Like, could you be more specific? Was it a Fanta? Was it an Orangina? Was it like a regular orange juice? Was it one of those orange sodas? Was it a Sunny Delight? Like, you got to be specific. You talking about if we know, we know. No, we don't know, bitch, because we specific in New York when it comes to our orders. I told y'all what my order would be when I get breakfast. Like, first of all, there was a period, and this is why I had to hit the gym real hard, because when I was working a lot, and then I was like always at the deli because it was literally like 2 blocks away from my apartment in Harlem. So I was always having I was always eating out and stuff, and I didn't have time to be at home cooking and stuff. So I would go to the deli, and the Mexican dude behind the thing, he always knew my orders because, and shout out to him for hooking me. I would have slept with him too. No, to be fine. So for breakfast or whatever, like I told her, because a lot of times the delis is gentrified. Bodega, whatever you call it. Now they call them delis. They don't call them bodegas no more, but it will always be, since I grew up where I grew up, we always refer to them as bodegas. But anyway, so for breakfast, like if I was feeling a little fancy smancy, I would get a BLT with avocados thrown up in there, and that would be like my breakfast sometimes in a wrap. Or for breakfast, you get like a sausage, egg, and cheese in a roll. But me, because I would want to have that hold me down for like a couple of hours until like maybe lunch, or I'd skip lunch and go to dinner, I would do a sausage, egg, and cheese on a hero. And then if I wanted, like, you could add you want to add the works, like lettuce, tomatoes, you can add all that other stuff in there. So you get your protein. I mean, you get your vegetables. I should say, not say protein, but you get your vegetables and other stuff. Or, sometimes one of my favorite things to always get, I love chopped cheese on a hero. Oh my God, that is so damn good. It's kind of like steak or whatever. Or like a Philly cheesesteak or whatever. And in case people don't know what a chopped cheese is, it's like a New York version of a Philly cheesesteak. So I would get like a chopped cheese on a hero. I'd throw some ketchup in that bitch and some mayo. Child, I was like, I was in heaven. So if you're really from New York, you have your specific orders and stuff that you get when you go to the thing. So I just feel like one of the things that's always irritated me about J-Lo, and I feel like that's what the point a lot of people are trying to make, is that you try to make yourself come across so relatable, but you're not relatable. You come across as being fake and phony. You haven't really been a part of New York since you became famous 30-something years ago. And quiet as it's kept, yeah, she from Castle Hill, but she not from the hood. She from the suburban part. She lived in a house. She ain't live in the projects. Like when I came up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, I grew up in the projects, and then my parents, when I turned 13, they moved us, me and my siblings out, and we moved to the suburbs. So I've had a taste of that life of being from the hood and then moving to a suburban area and that sort of thing. So I think that's the issue that people have. Now, in regards to that whole situation with the Motown tribute, like I said, I knew that was a mistake from the beginning. We watched the performance. The performance was a mess because you made it all about J-Lo being this pop star performing like her regular hits, but you doing Motown hits. So you try to bring that J-Lo aesthetic to that thing where you should have been, as an actress, since you an actor, you should have been trying to serve the project that you're putting forth. So when you playing them characters in the movies, same thing with the music. You should have been trying to serve up what Motown was about. It wasn't about you doing a salsa break and you being a leotard with some damn spandex and some hookah boots and having dudes grinding up on you and stuff. Like, that's not Motown. Motown was always about being they were being sexy, but they were classy about it. Or a lot of the times it was just a delicacy to it because, you know, me having my parents, I grew up listening to Motown. I think anybody who's a person of color, and I'm sure there's some white folks out there too, you know, we grew up on Motown and listened to a lot of that music and with the foundation of that, what that was. Maybe they should have brought Beyonce up in there. She would have probably did a way better job, and Beyonce would have served the product for what it is without being disrespectful and making it about you, which is, I'm going to show them. Show them what? That you shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. And this is probably why she had to do that Super Bowl halftime with Shakira, because she ain't got enough hits and she doesn't have the wherewithal to do a show by herself. And the people over there at the Super Bowl was looking at her like, she can't hold it down by herself. So that's why we had to bring Shakira in. Now, personally speaking, I would have preferred to see Shakira by herself, but we got what we got. And I feel like, you know, in regards to all of this story is not going anywhere anytime soon. Like, I feel like there's going to be more people coming out telling horror stories about working with her. And I think more reasons why people are coming out speaking about J-Lo is because of her, how she treats people, especially people that she looks at as beneath her. Like, you got the help, you know, people that you know, wait staff or whatever, when she's doing her parties or whatever the case is, they got to go through a special, you know, servant quarters, which is like something that I thought only existed back in the day for the slaves and things, but then they still have separate quarters that they have coming up in the house, and the wait staff and all this other stuff. I saw another story where it was like the staff can't even, like, you can't, or anybody can't look at her. Bitch, I'm gonna look in that bitch face and see what she gonna say. You're not gonna tell me I can't look at you, because I'm like, what, am I gonna turn to stone? Are you trying to tell us that you're really Medusa in disguise? Like, I don't understand all this. Oh, you can't look at her, you can't acknowledge her. Who is she? I remember she tried to do that. I told y'all she tried to do that to a friend of mine's relative when they were out at somewhere. I think they were backstage somewhere, and they called her a bitch to her face. I told her that story. I said, you can't come to New York thinking that you run New York, because you don't.